Hello everyone, welcome to another planty video. It is me, Desiree. Happy New Year. And of course with the new year comes the obligatory resolutions. It is a very rare occurrence that I stick to a resolution, but I feel like the planty ones that I'm going to mention today might be more doable because it's not like lose 20 pounds or, you know, the resolutions we make that have these really high expectations on them. So I wrote down a few things I want to do this year with my plants, with my plant collection. I just want to share them with you. And then I have a little mini declutter that kind of goes along with one of these resolutions. I just did a makeup video and I forgot to wash off all my swatches, so hopefully it's not distracting. It's gonna be fine. So the first one is write down the date my plants are purchased. One of you guys left me a message recently that said you write down the date and where you bought it. I want to do that. I have so many notebooks, like millions of notebooks, that I really need to start using. So I think one of them I'm going to use for my plants, the date I bought them and where I bought them. Maybe take a picture and keep them in a little folder in my phone because I always forget when I bought plants. Like if you've ever seen me talk about a plant, I'll say, I bought this a month ago, but then in reality it was last year. You know, like the time just gets away from you. I always want to know how the plant looked when I first got it. And I just want to keep like better records of my plants and, you know, where I got them and how much they were and all that kind of stuff. So I definitely want to do that this year, or start doing it this year. The next thing I want to do is get everything out of their nursery pots. So I don't necessarily mean like I want to repot them. So like this is a Maranta. Is this the variegated Maranta? I really like this plant. I potted it up in this nursery pot here because this plant likes to stay a little more moist and not dry out so quickly. So I like to put it in something plastic like this. I don't necessarily want to take them out and pot them into something else, but I do want to find cover pots for everything or even repot them into other stuff because I have so many of these pots floating around the house and I think sometimes it kind of looks like I don't really care about the plant that much. I just brought it home and stuck it on the shelf and left it there. But in reality, I do care about the plant, but I kind of want to zhuzh up the pots a little bit more, especially all these ones that are in nursery pots. So maybe I'll go thrifting. I'll pull in Ashley Anita. She always goes thrifting and finds all kinds of cool pots. I never find anything like that there. Like me and my grandma went this past year to the Goodwill. Didn't really find any pots whatsoever. They had other stuff, but no like plant stuff. So maybe I gotta hit up some different spots, but I wanna find some cool pots and get my plants out of their nursery pots already. The next thing I wanna do is to focus on fertilizing my plants. I never fertilize my poor babies. I've just found fertilizing to be very scary, very intimidating. I've watched so many videos on fertilizing and how to understand it. It's just too much. They always say to start off with a quarter strength and a half a strength and then a full strength, and I'm just like, I'm just gonna pour some into the water and see what happens. I'm trying to buy something, at least from what I've heard, if you buy stuff like worm castings. People have always recommended worm castings to me because you can't really use too much. It's like a natural kind of fertilizer. It's not really going to burn the leaves if you use too much of it. And I was always just so afraid of burning the plant. And I never really understood what that meant because I thought, well, you're not getting the fertilizer on the leaves. How is it burning it? But I guess if there's too much fertilizer in the water that it's absorbing, the plant doesn't know what to do with it. So it's trying to get it out. Am I making this up? It's trying to like get it out and it ends up, it's just too much chemicals and it burns up the leaves. They'll turn really brown and crispy. Is that right? I don't know. But I want to focus on fertilizing this year, learn a little bit more about it, see what I like. If you guys have favorite fertilizers, let me know. I'm not buying fish fertilizer. So if you're going to recommend that, it's off the table, but I'll try anything else. Yes, I do want to fertilize them and kind of see what they can do with a little food, you know? The next thing I want to do is redo this shelf back here. So I try to keep little trailing plants on here because I like it to look like a wall of plants, maybe some hanging stuff. But like right now, it's missing a lot of plants because they're in the other room being watered. But I really want to redo this shelf a little bit. I also need to clean the heck out of it. It's full of like dirt and, you know, just little soil that's fallen out of the pots as I put them back there. I really want to clean this up, switch around the plants a little bit, bring in something else. I have some other trailing plants that I would love to feature back here. I think the only one I will keep for sure is the Bobsea, because this is kind of the only place I like it. Just because of the way it grows and it kind of hangs down a little bit, I think it suits that shelf. But everything else, I want to switch it out, and maybe I'll do a video on it if I can figure out how to film it, on just kind of redecorating that shelf, because I really, really want to do that this year. Oh my gosh, my next resolution is to water my plants more often. I am such an underwaterer because I'm so afraid of root rot. I got so scared of root rot when I first got into plants because I lost so many plants to what I now know was root rot, because when you only have a couple plants and you're really into them and you feel this crazy feeling of like, I want to get really into plants like I did when I first started. You want to tend to that plant every day, even though it doesn't need anything. It just wants to sit there and like be pretty on your table. I would water the plants every single day. Water every day. Soil. Stop being wet. And I lost many plants to that. So I went so radically in the other direction that now I underwater everything. With a few exceptions, of course. My peace lilies, I try not to let them get bone dry. The alocasias, I don't let them get bone dry. My Monstera Constellation, I don't let get bone dry. There are a few plants that really need a little extra water, but for the most part, most plants will be fine if you let them get 100% bone dry before you water them. And that's what I tend to do a lot of the time. I only notice that the plant needs water when it's like this. And it's like wilting off of the shelf and it's like crawling to the sink trying to get a drink. And then I'm like, oh, are you thirsty? So I want to get better at watering. I feel like if I water more and fertilize, that my plants will do better for me this year. I really, really want to get on top of the watering with my plants. Okay, the next thing I want to do this year is to clean all of my leaves. One of my favorite little hacks, my favorite tip, my favorite trick to kind of trick yourself into thinking you have new plants, to feel excited about your plants again if you're feeling kind of bored with them, is to clean them. Even if you think your plants look clean, they're probably covered in dust. Unless you are someone that regularly like showers them off in the tub, like with your little shower head, most of the time they're gonna collect dust without you even noticing it. But once you give them a little spray, the little Miracle Grow spray is good. I know you can make your own with Castile soap, I think. I kind of want to try that this year. Clean your leaves, even just with water. Get a little cloth and wipe them down. See how much dust you will get off of your plants. They will look brand new. They will look shiny. They can gather more sunlight. The plants will thank you, and your plants will look brand new. And I really need to clean some of my leaves this year. I kind of just want to take them outside when they need water and hose them down with the little shower, the shower nozzle thing, and get them really clean and happy and feeling good and dust free. You know what I mean? I really want to do that this year. Okay, two more. This one isn't necessarily a resolution. It's just a video I've been wanting to do for so long and keep putting off. In fact, it's on the other side of this notebook. It's to get my houseplant inventory done. I wrote this down. I started writing it down in December, and no joke, this is all that I wrote. And then I started realizing like there are a lot more categories of plants than I thought. I thought, oh, I'm just gonna like write down pothos and philodendron and it's gonna be a page. But no, there's philodendron, pothos, Hoya, syngonium, alocasia, ZZ, orchid, marantas, candapsis. The list goes on and on. So I started writing it down and then immediately got discouraged because I thought, that's gonna take forever. But I really, really wanna do that this year. I think it would be really fun to see what I'm starting the year with, what leaves my house throughout the year, kind of crossing them off and seeing how things ebb and flow. I think that would be really, really fun. And of course I'll do a video sharing my inventory once I get it done. But I really, really want to do that at the beginning of the year. I'm hoping to do it this first week of January so I can start off knowing like exactly what my collection looks like, and I'll get an accurate count of all my plants, which I feel like is over 200 at this point. Ugh. Okay, the last one I have is cut off those ugly vines and throw out that plant. Let it go. So I think a lot of us have like an attachment to some of the plants that we have, whether we picked out the perfect one, we carried it to the cashier, we took it to our car, we drove it home, we brought it home, we cleaned it, we looked at it, we admired it, we took care of it the best we can. and then it starts declining for whatever reason. And then you just feel like you can't let go. You feel like you can't let go of these vines that are growing on the side of this shelf that I hate so much. They're so just stringy. The leaves are so small. I think if I just cut those vines right there, the plant will look a lot better, but I can't bring myself to do it. I don't know why I just can't do it. So this year, I'm just gonna do it. It's kind of like when you prune any other plant. The second you cut that leaf off, the plant immediately looks better, and you right away already forgot about that leaf, and you just throw it away and you completely forget about it. And that's what I want to do this year. Just cut off that ugly leaf, cut off those ugly vines. The plant is gonna be fine. Nobody has to know. No one's gonna judge you. Unless I show it in a video, no one will even know I cut those vines off, you know what I mean? So I'm just gonna do it this year. Declutter that plant, throw that thing away, cut off those ugly leaves, cut off those ugly vines, make your plants look pretty. Who cares? Just take care of your plants however you want. But yes, let it go. So to end off the video, I have a little declutter. I did throw out a few plants in December that I didn't film. I was doing a video almost every month of the plants that died that month or what I was decluttering, but I kind of fell off the last couple months of the year. But I kind of want to do that again this year. We'll see. I'm hoping I don't have to throw away that many or that many die every month, but I still want to keep track of things that are leaving my collection, you know? So I have a few here that I've been hanging on to for some reason. I'm just gonna throw them away today, get them out of my house, and start good for 2024. I did throw out a couple of Rex begonias, a peperomia, what else did I throw out? I wrote them down and then I don't know where I wrote them down at. But I threw out a few things in December that were just ugly, rotten, I was hanging on to for some reason because I couldn't bear to throw them away. But one of them I'm getting rid of today is this. What is this, you say? Well, it used to be a Caladium Hilo Beauty. I know what you're gonna say. I know what you're gonna say. The corms. There's corms in there that are going to grow back in the spring. I know that. In my mind, I know if I just take care of this, most likely it might come back if the corms aren't dead, you know? I just don't want it. I just don't want this stump of a plant in this pot of soil sitting there till the spring. I don't want it. And I'm just gonna be okay letting it go, okay? We're just letting it go. Same with this. This is an alocasia called Ivory Coast. I mean, it used to be. And I literally was standing right here just now holding it. My boyfriend was literally going, ugh, because I was like crunching all the leaves around. I took off this dead leaf and crunched it and pushed it back into the soil. And he was like, what is that? And I said, oh, it's an alocasia. And as I'm touching it, I see like a little sprout here of new growth. And I was just gonna throw this in the trash, and now I'm like, hold on, there's life still in here. I was intending just to throw this away right now. I'm gonna give this a little bit more water. Maybe it'll grow back. I think it has more life than the Caladium does. Like this one looks like it could grow back. So I'm gonna hang on to this one. I was gonna throw it away, but now I'm like, it might grow back. But if it doesn't, I'm just gonna be okay throwing it away. It's going to be fine. This one here is definitely garbage. This is a Peperomia obtusifolia. I mentioned this in several videos this past year. I think I mentioned it in like plants I will never repurchase, plants that need more love, a bunch of different videos that I really wanted to focus on this plant. But ultimately, I didn't truly love it. I was only keeping it because it still had some life to it. I felt bad for the plant, as if the plant had feelings and was judging me or something. But ultimately, I didn't truly want it, and obviously I didn't because look what happened to it. There's also another one down here. This is another Peperomia obtusifolia. I mean, it has some life to it. Like the stems still look good, there's still some leaves to it, but I don't want it. I don't want it, and I don't want to have to feel like nobody is guilting me into keeping this plant. It's me. It's me making myself feel guilty for getting rid of this plant because I'm like, oh, this might be somebody's dream plant and I'm just throwing it away. But I don't want it. I don't want it, and I don't want to keep it in my house just sitting there being sad and slowly declining because I'm not going to take care of it. I'm just going to let go of it. I'm just going to let go of it, okay? Am I? Oh my God, I'm doing it already. I'm doing it already. I'm looking at this stem here and I'm like, if I put this one stem in a pot, it will look kind of cool. It's just like a tall stem with a few leaves on it. I'm talking myself into keeping this plant. This is not my New Year's resolution, but I, for some reason, want to keep these two pieces And I don't know. I'm gonna do it. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna throw out the Ivory Coast. I'm just gonna throw it out and I'm gonna pot these two little guys in this pot and we're gonna do that. Okay, that is my video, my New Year's resolutions. Obviously resolutions, they're hard. They don't just come naturally like this. I thought I was gonna throw this away and now I'm gonna try to save it. But that is it. Let me know some resolutions you have in regards to your plants or whatever. I would love to hear them either way. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe so you don't miss my next one and I will see you later in another video. Goodbye.